JT Mollner. What the ever loving. I'm going to keep this clean. Writer, director, somebody I'm not familiar with. I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen anything this guy's really done. I believe he's done a load of award-winning shorts, but he comes out here with this feature film, Strange Darling, and absolutely blows things away. Like, I wasn't sure what I was watching, why I was watching, and how I was supposed to watch Strange Darling, but one hell of a movie this is, mostly down to the performances. Kyle Gallner, an actor I'm super familiar with. The TV show Outsiders, I really loved him in that. Back in the day, he was in Veronica Mars. And he's one of those actors who's been popping up in movies left, right, and center. Smiley was in one of those, like the first one, I believe. Great to finally see him in a role where he can really just chow down on a bit of friggin' meat and do what he needs to do. Willa Fitzgerald, an actress I'm not overly familiar with. I know fine well if I go and have a look into her IMDb, it's going to be like 100 different things that I've seen her in. Unbelievably strong performances. So yeah, we're going to talk about Strange Darling. But my name is Kevin Halden. This is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all of your news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. I like to cover everything from the big budget to the low budget to the no budget, and I keep a special keen interest on the lower end of the scale. This does have a budget. It's not exactly low budget, but it's also not exactly high budget. But I watched it and I was really kind of struck by how ballsy and how courageous and how out there this movie is, and I kind of feel like people just need to check it out. So we're going to get into it. In terms of plot, I don't really know how to talk about it. It's a non-linear movie. It is told out of order. But what we learn is that we are meeting these characters on the night of a one-night stand. And they are called The Lady and the Demon. No prize for guessing which one's which. But yeah, so they meet each other and they go on this like one-night stand. But it turns out that they're into some weird kind of role play stuff. She wants him to be a bit rough. He's kind of not entirely sure about that, but also kind of into it, and then gets a little bit too into it. And what we're being fed, because we get fed the information as we go. So we cut from a moment where she's being chased by him, and you're kind of like, oh my God, like she needs to get away. She's escaping him. He's a bit of a dick. And then you have other bits where we cut in, and it turns out that she's maybe got the better of him at one point, and say, oh shit. So you're not really sure who and why and how these guys are interacting and who's after who. And that's one of the best things about this movie, because I feel like if you told this in a linear fashion, it's maybe not going to work. One of them is a goodie, one of them's a baddie. We don't know who. We're going to figure it out by the time we get to the end of the movie, hopefully. And I say hopefully, because somebody out here is doing some murdering, and we're not sure which one, or who, or why, or where. Like I said at the start of my review, this is absolutely where the movie lives, lies, and breathes, and all that good stuff. And I'm going to start with Kyle Gallner, because I genuinely think I've seen him in loads of different things, going back to Red State, Kevin Smith's Red State, and I love this guy as an actor. He seems to always put his heart and soul into the roles he's playing. Unfortunately, he's never quite had that big role that's going to elevate him. I think this could be it. I do think Strange Darling and this role could be the role that maybe breaks him, maybe gets him those other big roles, and he gets to run with it a little bit more. He's got a touch of the Jeremy Allen Whites about him, which I quite like. He's intense as hell. When he's in peril in this movie, you kind of feel like he might actually be in peril. But also when he's got the upper hand in this movie, he's a total sadistic badass. And you kind of just have to go along for the ride with this movie, because, like I say, we're only getting told bits and pieces as we go, and we're being told these bits and pieces completely out of order, and there's nothing wrong with that. It works in this movie's favor, absolutely. And the same can be said for Willa Fitzgerald. Again, not an actress I'm massively familiar with. I do kind of vaguely remember her from Reacher. I think she was in like the second series, probably maybe the first series of Reacher. I do kind of remember her from that, and that's only because my wife was like, oh look, that's her from Reacher, so you know, she wins there. But in this, again, she's playing a fantastic role. Again, she's intense. She's a badass when she needs to be a badass. She's in trouble when she needs to be in trouble. I just think both these actors the level of trust they must have had with each other behind the scenes, like in front of the camera, all that kind of thing. The level of trust these guys must have had and worked on to get to is just unreal. And I think that's what plays in mostly to this movie, plays into why everything just works. JT Mollner, the writer-director of this movie, he's written what is essentially a story that we've seen it before, we've done it before, we've watched things like this before. But the way he tells it and the way he shuffles things around and the way he doesn't feed us too much that we click straight away, oh shit, this is what's going on. You ain't gonna get me, I've figured it out. You'd be surprised. I would be surprised if you do figure out what's going on in this movie before the end of the movie. And actually, I kind of hope you don't. I kind of hope you just go along for the ride and just take it for what it is. He's assembled an amazing cast, first and foremost, but then the crew as well. His cinematographer, for Christ's sake. This movie is absolutely stunning. It looks amazing. Frame for frame, it is shot perfect. Purposely, things are made to look as if it's wrong, but it's not. And let me tell you something, people. Do you remember Giovanni Ribisi? Gone in 60 Seconds, Boiler Room, Friends, everything ever in the 1990s. We love Giovanni Ribisi around here. He's just a solid actor. Well, he is the cinematographer in this movie. And I love that. How often do you see an actor moving into the director's chair, going behind the camera and being the director? How often do we see that happen? How often do you see an actor going behind the camera and being the camera, being the cinematographer, setting those shots up, getting what is needed within the camera? I am blown away by the fact that this was Giovanni Ribisi. Honestly, I kind of thought maybe one day he would do the directing, and maybe he has. But dude went cinematography and made what looks to be an utterly gorgeous, flawless movie. Again, that's a big compliment as well to JT Mollner, because he has brought this guy on board and they're doing it together. So there is that. What I did and didn't like, I love the way it's told. I've already mentioned that, so we're not going to go too far with that. I love the portrayal of the actors. I love the fact that Gallner and Willa Fitzgerald have got just two superb, outstanding roles they can run with. I'm just going to say it. There's not a lot that I didn't really like. Yes, I think the subject matter. I think if you don't get on with this kind of subject matter, you may end up walking out. You may end up stopping the movie within the first 10-15 minutes, because it opens with some pretty gnarly stuff. But I implore you, whatever you're thinking at the start of this movie is not that movie. It's not what you think it's going to be. There is a change, there's a shift, it goes elsewhere, it becomes something else. What you get in the end, it's somewhat cathartic if you stick with it. But I do think it's going to turn some people off. And that's not the filmmaker's problem, that's not anybody to do with the film's problem, that's people's problem. But I get a sense that some people might just take this off. Put that down as a little bit of a negative, mostly because you don't want people checking out before they've even checked in, if you know what I mean. I didn't feel that way. I'm just well aware that with today's sensibilities, there will be people out there who feel that kind of way. So you know what? I'm just going to get into my final Nerdly Out Loud rating. And again, that is my rating, the rating of Kevin Halden, the rating of Nerdly Out Loud. And personally, I'm going to give this movie a 4. I am going to give it a 4, which sounds kind of weird because I've kind of been like bigging it up. But you know what? Like, I think there's just something else. There's something else we could do with this movie. I'm not 100% certain what that is. It does say at the start of the movie that it's based on a true story. It's based on a true serial killer. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they're doing a little bit of a Fargo on us. It feels like they might be doing a little bit of a Fargo on us, especially with that ending, because that ending kind of goes the way of Fargo a little bit. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. But yeah, I just feel like there's something else. And I'm 100% I'll be checking out anything JT Mollner goes moving forward. I'm going to be watching all his stuff. I can't wait to see what he does. I can't wait to see Giovanni Ribisi behind the camera again, like in somebody else's movie or another one of this guy's movies. Like, I can't wait. I think everybody is going to absolutely just fly. like strap a rocket to everyone in this movie, they are all going to fly. Like, I feel like if this movie gets seen, which again, I say time and time again about movies that I talk about, it might not get seen. It might not make it to the big bad world. I really hope people do see this, and I really hope people take note of what's actually going on, what actually the movie is about, and don't just see it as that thing you see in the opening scenes. Kyle Gallner's great. Willa Fitzgerald's great. It's a great movie, and please do check it out. But anyway, I'm going to go. My name is Kevin Halden. This has been Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk. Please do go over to the website. Hopefully somebody will have also watched this movie and dropped a review on the website over there, so you'll get more input on what you think about the movie. If you watch it, please let me know down below in the comments what you thought of it. We can talk a little bit more there. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. If you think I'm right, let me know. I love to know when I'm right. So please do all that great stuff. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ding that notification bell. And I'll be dropping more interviews, episodes, reviews, everything like that as we go. But for now, I'm giving Strange Darling a 4 out of 5. And mostly that is because I'm excited to see what we do next. I want to watch it again, and my rating may change, but for now, I just kind of feel like there's just something. There's something. But I'm going to go 4 out of 5, Strange Darling. Please do check it out anywhere and everywhere you can. See you next time.